Dysheen.
Part 2, man.
Yeah. Hey, man. That part 1 was crazy, man. He was talking about Statesville.
Yeah.
Like, they do drive-bys on horses.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, murder capital. I'm like, I'm killing pigs and chickens, man. Like, one share. Man, I was interested, man, like his journey, how he went from Carolina to said something about Columbus, and then he was going to the New York Fashion Week in NYC, man. And that was just interesting how he said he majored in graphic design, but he had a minor in photography.
Right. Yeah, and you know,
That's wild.
yeah, when I first had met Sheen, like, me and Sheen had met in the same place too, man. We went to there too, man. So that's why I knew.
You met him in Statesville too?
Oh, no, I met him in Columbusville. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, we get that player to where I met him at, man.
Man, that's crazy, man, because, like, he was just getting ready to get into that NYC Fashion Week, man. And I was like, I think there was some heavy hitters there, like big designers and stuff like that, which I ain't gonna find out because part 2 is coming in.
3, 2, 1, peace. Oh, wait,
yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for you to tune in to the Corner Pocket Podcast. That's right, DCP. You got one man repping the Old State Buckeyes. You got one man repping the Michigan Wolverine. No matter.
Hey, Shady.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I know, man. Another fire beat on the phone. I know.
I feel like I'm in Thailand a little bit. And you're touching back into that Buddhist monk. Oh, man.
Maybe I am. Right. I'm just saying, man.
Feel the people that they feel the goat arms right now. They do the training right now. The sound, they got the blindfold on. You get training.
Keep doing it. Yeah.
And I'm feeling you, bro. I got your quarter too, bro. I love it. Yeah.
That movie, bro.
Be nice. He's bringing the funk into his inner monk. Be nice is bringing the funk. He's sucking that inner monk.
Yes.
He's bringing the funk. He's bringing the funk. Inner monk. He's bringing the funk. He's bringing the funk to inner monk. What you gonna say? What you gonna do? Day to day. When you say, I'm bringing the funk, I don't want to be a Ricky Monk. What this big keep on the mic? I got my sympathy and you all fight. Put on up, you get it. Got the best in my fight, you get it.
Hey! What? Hey, I ain't gonna say nothing though. I'ma just chill and let it go.
Oh!
And chill and let it go.
I'm gonna chill. I'ma let it flow. I'ma chill. I'ma let it flow. I ain't got no big motion.
That like this one.
Got the motion. You know I'm feeling real motion. Who taking the building?
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Method Man. Shout out to Dirty Wrestling.
Hey, man. Hey, who's saying for the kids? It's always 3T3 Corner Pocket, man.
Man, we are back for part 2, big man. Once again, if you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button, share button, subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We are here with Shitty Part 2, man. Statesville Mayor in the building. It is good to be here again, D, man. How are you, bro?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, before we get to Sheen, man, we gotta talk about this two things real quick. This two real quick.
Before you get to 2 things, can I ask you one thing?
Yeah, you can.
So I need y'all to comment in the comments. I'm sure y'all observed this real quick. Is his smiley face really smiling or frowning right now? Like, because the way your muscles was flexing, he had a frown.
Oh, thank you, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he had a frown, you know?
And you know he's going I don't know what he's talking about. You know, I thought it was wrinkles. It was wrinkles.
No, it wasn't a wrinkle. It's like, cause you was flexing on camera, bro. You was flexing on camera like Terry Crews. You just gotta round up a little bit.
Hey, man.
How about the cheeseburgers?
Man, I'm sorry.
Yo, but the two things, bro, you said.
Okay, so like me and the party was watching the news and looking at having a conversation about it. And before I say anything, y'all know me, I ain't judgmental, like that at all. I have nothing against nobody. But if you are transgender, you should stay in the transgender section. Just all play each other.
Oh, yeah. I got you, bro.
But don't play each other in sports.
The Mike didn't like that.
Yeah, don't play each other in sports, man. Don't try to because you suck as a swimmer as a man. Now you want to be a girl, and now you go over there and now you're dominating. That's cheating, man. Like, come on, just you be a transgender in your sport, and that's what you do for your transgenders. You know, like don't do that, cause you know when you're born a woman, right? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. Okay, you might want to play football, but we know we're stronger than women, like naturally. No, and like I'm just saying this how the
athletic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know some women like, nah, I ain't trying to meet. You're right. I don't want to know this shit. I don't want none of that smoke. But yeah, like what do y'all feel about that? Because let me see, it's like for as far as the Olympics, they're trying to get the transgenders to all run together, and I'm like, that's not acceptable. Like what do y'all feel about that?
Well, I'm thinking that I know it's still a process involved where they're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And some of it may not be as balanced. I know they try to put some things in place. If you're going through like a hormone therapy, then you have to get your hormones to a certain level before you could even do that. Certain places are more lenient than others. But I think it's a figuring out process until they can get it figured out. And I can see it from both sides too, because as a person who wants to be identified a certain way, you still want to compete. You still, because they still, teenagers, or if you're grown, you still want to be seen a certain way, and you shouldn't be hindered from that. But at the same time, some of the other, if you look at it another perspective, it may not be an unfair advantage. It's like the transgender who won the race, who ran as a woman. And it's like, okay, maybe we need to kind of look at certain things here to make it right for everyone. Right. It's still like, can we get it figured out soon? Probably not. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But it is a figured out process.
I disagree though, man.
I like what she says. The process. It's like no shot to Mo Hall, because I know you watching, bro. You're saying like Mo ran a 10.6 in high school, and then he becomes Marina or Melissa.
Right.
Well, no shot to you, bro.
Right.
So you saying he ran 10.6 as a dude, now he converts to a girl.
Yeah,
He's still gonna run 10.6.
Right.
So he gonna be burning the girls that's running like 11s and 12s. He's still running. Marina gonna run a 10.6.
Right.
So you said it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair, man. Like you got this little girl busting her tail every day to become this world class swimmer, making this dude all of a sudden, hey, I was Mike, hey, no, Megan. I can swim. No, that's not good, Megan. Go over there and swim with the other, you know what I mean? And then the second man, we ain't more about that. We'll talk about that on the next part.
On part 3?
Yeah.
The second one?
Yeah, so let's get into Mr. NYC right here, man, taking photos at the fashion week.
Yeah, so before you get into that, how did the opportunity present itself for you to get to NYC? What was that journey like?
Well, the opportunity presented itself. One of the designers that I worked with, a designer during collection, she's an Indian designer, Anjali Prakash, very talented, weddings, she does beautiful gowns. I started shooting with her when she first started. So we just kind of built this relationship, this friendship, and every time she needed her line shot, I shot her line. Well, it got to the point where she started taking off. So she has, women around the world wearing her gowns. Like Sami Ali, which I got to shoot her. She's a Bollywood actress. I got to shoot with her in Miami. And then she started doing fashion week in LA and New York and Paris and everything. So at that point, she started wanting to bring me along. She's like, can you be my, personal photographer to shoot these shows and events? So I started with her. And she got me in, but what happens is whenever you shoot a show, you don't just shoot that designer. It might be 10 designers. It might be 4 or 5 designers before your designer come on, so you get to shoot everyone.
Oh.
You shoot everyone. So you in the pit, so it might be 100 photographers in the pit. You squeeze up in the pit until that show is done. It may show 10 to 12 designers, and then there's a break. You know, and then there'll be an hour, and then the next designer to show up, and you get to shoot them. If you don't got to do nothing with your designer, you can stay in the pit. You can shoot as much as you want at that point. So you just get there, you just take it in its amazing designs. You know, from Victoria's Secret to Francesca's to there's a whole ton of them. Designs by Xantha. You know, everybody gets a shot, and it's not cheap. It's definitely not cheap for the designers. They paying out $20,000, $30,000 for 5 minutes. 5 minutes a time, 10 minutes a time.
Now, is that where they walk down the runway?
Yes.
And so have you, shout out to the models, man, that's got to be tough. Have you seen instances where the ankles went out?
I have, but luckily it was, it's just like a deer. Like, oh shoot! Like, and you capture all this stuff, but I would say the models do a very good job of catching themselves. You can see it buckle, and then they'll, get back on their, But even if they do fall, they fall in the way where it's like, this is hard to show. They don't get discouraged, they don't cry, they just get up and it takes a lot to walk a certain way.
Yeah, I be watching some videos on YouTube.
Yeah. You see the one with the red shoes?
It's so funny, man, but I definitely applaud them because even when they don't fall, I think it has to be just kind of frustrating. All these flashes in your eye, you gotta just walk, zone in, and that has to be even for your photographers, man. I'm saying you just bunched up. How does it How do you but you gotta really just be some bully stuff.
You know what? It's generally depending how early you get there. You get there early, everybody's usually pretty laid back and calm. You get to meet people, network. But then as it gets closer to shoot time, it starts to pack up. You get a little bit of rudeness that comes in. Some
from the models?
No, from the photographer's pit.
Gotcha.
The models are in the back. So if I'm not shooting behind the scenes, I'm in the pit. Usually 45 minutes to an hour, I'm sitting in the pit because if you don't get a spot, you won't shoot.
Now, for those that don't know what the pit is, what is the pit?
Well, the pit is the pit of photographers that's at the end of the runway.
Okay.
So it can hold usually, if you go to Paris, the pit could be up to 200 photographers. New York, it would be 100 or 50, just depending on where you are in the pit. So you'd be in the middle, some people are on the side, but you always want to try to get your perspective. You want to sit there and get your spot because they won't leave.
So the surrounding, because I see people sitting there, is that considered this the runway? Is that the pit all the way around?
All the way around, yeah.
Okay, and the best part is the front of the pit?
Yeah, the best is just straight on, but it just depends on the venue because you may have a fantastic venue like Album Hall where it's all cathedral looking. If you shoot on the side, you get a side 3/4 angle, that would be amazing.
Right.
But everybody always looking for that straight on. That's what a lot of the magazines, but you're missing the depth, when you do that. So.
I always wonder that, D, because I see it sometime and you got the different models come I'm what is that little area? Because I see there's people sitting there too.
Mm-hmm.
So are you guys in front of because is that section kind of for the celebrities and all that?
Yeah, but on the sides, usually on the sides, the very front row, it's usually about 4 or 5 rows from the front row to the back. And usually the higher paying tickets are right at the stage. But that's where the celebrities would sit, like the Ryan Seacrest and stuff, people like that would sit right in the front, right there as the models walk out. But then the very front of the runway is reserved for the pit, the media. Pretty much, I'll be part of the media.
Okay, sweet. So, who, presenting witness opportunity to get the fashion week? You were sitting home one day, on your business, and what? Who did that? Or how did you get the contact to even do that?
Well, through my one designer, after she invited me, I just started looking and networking online. So I went to a couple of the New York Fashion Week pages to see what designers need. Like, do you need a photographer for this? So that's when I started doing my footwork. Like, okay, what do I need for this? Where are all the venues that are doing the fashion week walks? So I would look up the Sony Halls, and I would look up Flying Solo and High Tech Moda, and see who's all doing it around town. And then from that point, I reach out to a designer,
Right.
and the designer is like, okay, I need this, I need that, and then they'll bring it back next time. Once you get into that, once they start seeing pictures, or even models, or recommend another designer, hey, this photographer did an amazing job, bring them in, or whatever. So then they would contact me like, beforehand, and then I would be like, okay, I could only go for 3 or 4 days, but I'm shooting this, and this, plus I'm doing photo shoots on the side.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that, like, was it like word of mouth, or you have to send in your work? Like, how would you, like, get exposed, like, to other opportunities? Was it mainly word of mouth or both?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, word of mouth is very powerful thing. You'll get it through the designers, because the designers, what happens is when you shoot their catalog, they will post it, or it would be, if they're selling it online, then or your work, they will tag you and everything. So that's how you get your exposure. Or when you sometimes they'll submit it to the beauty magazines like Vogue or Bazaar magazine, and of course that's your publishing credit. That's your publishing credit right there. So that comes back to you too. Like, who shot that shot? Then it comes back to me again.
That's dope, man. That's really dope.
Bro, that's interesting, because, like, you would never think, like, I remember back in the day, the Polaroid cameras and stuff like that. Yeah, shake it and all that good stuff.
Right.
I never thought, like, especially seeing an African-American black man going into that, like, I've never seen a black cameraman run. I've never seen him. I don't know if it was rare or was it popular. What gravitated you to that? Like, what made you say, hey, even though you went for graphic design, you still do that as well. What made you have that burning passion for photography?
Well, first and foremost, I'm an artist. So I like all these mediums. I like video, graphic design, photography. But it never crossed my mind once again until I started working my job for the government, and I'm a graphic designer for them. But then once I got my camera and started using it, like taking it out of work, it opened up a whole nother world to me. Like, I started off doing landscapes. My early landscape works from the beach, Cabo, woodlands. I was doing all that, and before I started shooting people, and I just fell in love with it. Like, every picture, I would and then I would learn new techniques, how to do certain things, and as I started getting more equipment, and it just became a passion. Like, it was one of those things I was obsessed. I started reading books. I started reading up about other black photographers like Gordon Parks. He was a Harlem photographer, and black photographer, but he was just capturing everyday moments of just that time in Harlem. I was just like, there's another person like me doing this at that time. But it was film. It wasn't like you got to buy 24-roll exposure for $70, $100 at the time. You had to make it work. That's not including developing. So they motivated me, like, to try to do more with less. And follow other black photographers that's been out there, men and women, just to see what they've done.
I want to touch on something in the next part of how you chose the equipment. If you want to start out, like, how do you even start? What do you even do? But y'all gonna catch that in part 3. We ain't gonna get that to you right now, man. Dude, man, I just was picturing like you said, the little thumbnails with the models falling down, man. The one man, she had the 80 shuffle going on, bro. It was like, yo, man. We are here with my man, GD here, man. New York, YC, finest photographer. Here in the 614, man. You never know who you run into. We have hidden diamonds in certain places. You remember we hitting figures? You just never know who's going what.
Also, real quick, I wish we had one part. That's that part 3.
Part 3.
That's a special announcement.
Man, hit the like button. Hit that shit with subscribe.
Hey, man, Shane, where can they find you at, man? In case they want to listen on part 1.
And you can find me at www.3dmphoto.com, or you can find me on Facebook under 3DM Photography, and also on Instagram under 3DM_photography. And that's how you get in contact with me. Look at my work.
Look at his work. His work speaks volumes.
I know how to get a hold of us, so I ain't gonna say it again. So
We say y'all all part 3.
peace.